Hello, and welcome to the Data Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka.
PBJ.
I'm reluctantly E.
And we're here. We're going to give you guys a special episode on aliens and alien conspiracy and all that good stuff in between. So, who wants to start off?
All right, I'll start off.
Folks, yes, you will.
I'm here beyond. I'm here
as the voice of reason.
Now, let's admit that E here is the reluctant one who doesn't really believe in all this stuff. So
let me just start out by saying one of the four people in this panel had been abducted, and there was a probing of some sign, and we'll guess at the end. All right. We're going to start out by saying
he's also the only one wearing a white hat.
It's beige. It's beige.
Beige, yes.
one of the four is colorblind on this panel.
Back to things that matter. Okay. I just want to say this. We're doing this episode, I guess, because the Pentagon released basically corroborating 3 videos about it had been controversial, but one was recorded by U.S. military, Navy pilots chasing a craft that was going at ridiculous speeds and doing maneuvers that no existing technology can do. And the fact that the Pentagon corroborated these is basically, without them saying it, they're saying it, that these unidentified things exist.
Yeah, and that's on the heels of NASA already confirming these same videos a while back. I guess late last year, that surprisingly one ex-members of Blink-182 brought to surface, who's a great, he's a really big aliens advocate, and brought it to light. They admitted that yes, we don't know what the hell it is, which
identified flying object.
And now the Pentagon, the government, does the same. So
there are many theories we could go here, but I'm going to bring out 2 names. Right. And Izzy's going to talk about one of the members of these 2 people, and they're just flashing some things because it's hard to talk about this subject sober.
Pretty much.
Luis Elizondo was a military investigator, went to investigate any case reported by the military about encounters with unidentified airships. And he actually was one of the people involved in one of the videos that was released. He went to investigate, and he asked the pilots who were chasing down this it looked like almost like a capsule or a pill-like craft that was moving at ridiculous speeds, and then all of a sudden like turning from vertical to horizontal. And there was no emissions out of it. So they had no way how it was being propelled in space. So Elizondo actually quit or left the military because he did not like the fact that any of his reports he was finding from these eyewitnesses who were mostly military, he was not allowed to share this with the public. And then the other name I'm going to let Izzy talk about a little bit is Bob Lazar.
Yeah. All you guys must know Bob Lazar, all your Joe Rogan fans and whatever. Bob Lazar, I mean, basically he's considered now a conspiracy theorist, especially, as far as, aliens and everything is concerned. I'm going to do a quick little synopsis of him. He claimed to have been hired in the late 80s to reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology at what he described at a secret site called S4. Lazar alleges that the subsidiary installation is located several kilometers south of Area 51. Lazar claims that an alien craft that ran on antimatter reactor powered by element 115 or 115, which at the time had not been yet synthesized. He also claimed to have read U.S. government briefing documents that describe alien involvement in human affairs over the past 10,000 years. Now, the clinch in this whole thing is that since then, Lazar has been essentially scrubbed from history,
Record.
I guess, from record. But they went back and all the places he said that he worked at, there's pay stubs and there's records that show that he worked there. So
I just want to bring up one more thing to add to that.
go ahead.
In the early 2000s, I want to say somewhere between 2005 and 2010, element 115
Right.
was introduced. So all of a sudden, this make-believe story about this fantastic element shows up. So how could he be like wrong when he literally predicted the future? There is this element that makes anti-gravitational flight possible, and it wasn't revealed until maybe 15 years after he got fired or ousted from his position. And there is a paper trail of places he's worked and places that he went to school. So he does exist, and he is a physicist. And from all accounts, it sounds like he knows his stuff about quantum theories and physics and propulsion and mechanics.
Yeah.
He actually only has a business where he does that.
I mean,
He
look,
consults.
I heard the podcast, the interview, whatever, and the dude knows what the hell he's talking about. Unless he's so batshit crazy that he just made up on the spot,
He's a criminal.
he knows what the hell's going on. What'd you say?
He's a criminal.
In
Go
whose
on.
What's the chart? What is the
Go on with
charges
that.
of?
Go on with that.
Well, he's a criminal.
What are the?
He ran a prostitution ring. He ran a prostitution ring, and while he was doing that, he was selling chemicals. Maybe the ones that he was on.
This is fascinating.
Wow, I did not know that.
Okay, so then how about Paul Heller?
Wait,
Paul Heller, who was an ex.
Rocka. Before we continue that, let's delve into this for a brief second. At what time?
Not a sexy dude. He's not. Nobody will acknowledge him because he is a pimp.
So you
I
say
don't know if that's such a bad thing.
Okay, but in the academic world, it is.
Well, that if you want to debunk a guy,
If you want to do R&B,
is this the face of a pimp?
yep, it is.
Okay.
from maybe 1944.
Dude, he was convicted of a prostitution ring in 2000.
I just want to.
In what year? What year?
He was convicted of running a prostitution ring about 12 years ago.
Wow.
Interesting.
I just want to say I don't know many academic physicists who moonlight as a pimp.
And by the way, he did it in the 90s too. So he's banging somebody that's providing him with something that's making him think he's a physicist.
Did he serve time?
Yes.
Wow.
He did 150 hours of community service and underwent physiotherapy in the 90s. Obviously, it didn't work because he was trying to form the same group he did in the 90s in the 2000 and got convicted again.
Wait. As a tangent. So if you get convicted as a pimp, you only get that many hours? That's it?
Well, you know, this is the liberal world.
All right. We'll save that.
To save
that
the
for
cat.
our podcast on. We'll save that.
Dude, I can kill any one of you and get released.
All right, let's switch gears here. Paul
I'm
Heller.
sorry. What? You can get released by killing.
I
people?
can kill any one of you and get released.
Guys. All right, we'll check that into the back files.
That's Cuomo and de Blasio's world.
That is
Ain't
it.
nobody on Rikers.
Okay.
For the record, we are on the East Coast, so
That is
Yes,
something.
there are inmates
does
abound.
not mean anything
walking
in
around.
any other place, but yeah.
All right, so Paul Heller is an ex-defensive minister in Canada.
Who?
Paul Heller, Hellyer, the highest ranking member of any government in Canada to come out and say aliens do exist. He's been told by a friend of his who is a high ranking general in the US Army that in the book, The Day After Roswell, everything in that is correct. In that there is the book written by Colonel Philip Corso was also asked to care for the remains of bodies recovered from Roswell and to spearhead and to oversee the reverse engineering of the spaceship, or let's say vessel recovered from Roswell.
Are you talking about Paul Heller that
Member of
directed the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee?
No, Paul, Paul Heller, Hellyer. So he was
Llyer,
Hellier. Okay, I'm sorry. You know,
Parallelogram.
either way, people, he was the highest ranking.
I'm sorry. I thought you were the guy who was doing Enter the Dragon. This was going to be a much better conversation when you started than when it ended up.
Okay, so he was told by many high-ranking officials from the government and the military in the U.S. that everything in that book is true, that there was an alien craft recovered. They did reverse engineer the technology in there, which gave rise to fiber optics, to stealth technology, to microchip technology, et cetera, down the line. And that they said the person who's going to benefit the most from this technology, who they feared the most, was not a country, but the weapons manufacturers.
Yeah. In 2007, Hellier reported demanding that the world governments disclose alien technology that could be used to solve the problem of climate change. I would like to see what alien technology there might be that can eliminate the burning of fossil fuels within a generation. That could be a way to save our planet. We need to persuade governments to come clean on what they know. Some suspect they know quite a lot, and it might be enough to save our planet if applied quickly enough.
May I ask whether the people that told him this live on Venus, Mars, or Saturn?
Most likely Mars, I would think.
Those are where he thinks people are living now.
That's funny you say that. That's exactly what he thinks. Look at you. The ball.
Look at you. By the way, isn't it weird that Trump said that we should start a space force?
Is weird.
That I got info. I got info on how the presidency and the presidents in general, how they've been into alien technology and trying to find out about all this stuff, and yet they've been blockaded by.
To piggyback off Hellier.
This is going down. This is going back from Jimmy Carter days.
Even further. Even further.
Exactly.
Eisenhower, when Eisenhower left office, and people really loved Eisenhower. He said to the American public, the people you really have to be careful of, who will hijack the United States government, are the military, the private military businesses.
And who else?
Make the guns, the weapons, all that, because they're the ones who really want to get their claws into defense contracts, the budget for the defense. They want to keep.
What is that story?
Who was the head of the CIA back then when Jimmy Carter was president?
I think it was George Bush.
GW.
George H. Bush.
Yep. No, but who's the physicist? The German physicist who came over after World War II.
Yep.
Who warned about that? He's arguably the most
Werner von Braun.
Right, accredited physicist who made all the rockets go.
Yeah, who is Werner von Braun? Werner von Braun, who is responsible for us going to the moon. He said on his deathbed, I believe to either his daughter or his niece, that be careful, be very, very careful about NASA and the they didn't call it Homeland Security. They called it the
Hope Diamond.
Who handles national? Is it national security? Is that what they just call? You probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway, he said that he warned his daughter or his niece that what's going to happen is this: there's going to be a war, a fake war with alien technology, because we're going to think it's aliens, when it really is the private military industry has control over these technologies, and that they're going to make flying ships like the stealth fighter, things that people didn't think existed, but we have them. And they're going to actually try to unite the human race, kind of like American Independence Day, the movie, where they're going to, by having us go again a war with aliens, when in fact it's really these guys. It's not aliens, it's people who have alien technology and are posing as aliens.
Because enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Do they think that war has already happened, or
no? They're prepping it up. So
just look at the precedents that's been happening, like the stealth fighter. Nobody even knew that was a thing, and it actually turns out they've had it for like 30 years. 30 years.
So I am not. I want to believe. I can't say I 100%, but I want to believe. But we have E here, and E is our resident skeptic. E, do you believe in Snowden's credibility?
What?
Oh, goodness gracious!
Bless you, Kobe.
E. Back to focus. Do you believe in Snowden's credibility? Do you believe anything comes out of his mouth?
He's a criminal. No.
So that's a no. Because
Whoa,
on the Joe Rogan show.
Whoa, is it that black and white? Is it that black and white that if he's a criminal, he's bad?
No, a Snowden episode coming soon.
What did Snowden say? PBJ, what did Snowden say about aliens? Please take it away.
I know he said that there is. Well, it's actually a hacker from the UK who hacked into the Pentagon, and he's the one that found out that there's an actual, believe it, I hate to call it, but a space force out past the moon, and that this hacker from the UK who stumbled upon this, and the U.S. government wanted to arrest him, but for some reason the UK negotiated on his behalf with the United States so they wouldn't extradite him. But he's the one who came out with like plans, pictures, names, people who are actually serving on a branch of the military that's like a black ops, which is basically in spaceships.
Right. So this hacker said yes, but Snowden, who has gone through millions of files, has held so many files in blackmail because his life is in danger. He has come out and said through all the millions of files that he has downloaded and had reached access to that you could not do before, he said, unfortunately, to all you UFO believers out there, he didn't find one file that credited the existence of aliens.
Because it's all a cover up. Now, I'm gonna read you a couple little, little tidbits, little information that
tip it away.
And in October 1969, Jimmy again saw a UFO, and he wasn't president yet. It was for early on in his formative years. Now,
is Jimmy a criminal?
In 1973,
he's a bean farmer.
The International UFO Bureau in 1973 had Jimmy Carter sign a waiver admitting he actually saw said UFO. After that, CIA head G.W. Bush denied Jimmy Carter to UFO files. There were files that Jimmy Carter wanted to access, and he was denied.
Can you do that? Can you not allow the president to see something?
Everybody thinks it's a fallacy. Everybody thinks the president's a dictator and he has all rules. He does not. Sorry.
Saying, quote, it's a need-to-know basis, and president curiosity is not need to know. And
but isn't he the head commander-in-chief?
So what?
Yeah, but this thing's even above the commander-in-chief.
But then who does it? Then who's? Then somebody. Then that means, by that logic, somebody is a higher authority than the president.
Well, I mean,
yes. Come on, PBJ, wake up.
That's a whole other freaking episode.
E, you got something to say? You believe in that? Please, yes.
The governor of California, Ronald Reagan, also saw a UFO.
Reagan did see a UFO
on a plane.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, on March 7th, 1998. GW admitted that yes, I know. No, I'm sorry. Yes, I know that there's information. I know a lot. Basically, that he knows that there's shit that it's out there because of his days as head that no one else knows, and that one probably never will know because it's
Look, throughout the history of the United States, of any government, there are secrets that don't get released. Secretary of State Clinton was forced to issue an apology.
Yep.
Because it had leaked out that in the 50s and 60s and all the way up to the 80s, the United States government were buying people from, I forget if it's Central South, either Nicaragua or San Salvador, but they were buying people,
Central America,
buying people to test gonorrhea and to test vaccines and stuff. These people were perfectly healthy. They just happened to be either mentally retarded or in institutions where, like orphans. They were buying people they didn't even have the disease. And then they gave them the disease. And then they tried like guinea pigs, cures for. So they were buying people. Now it would have never come out unless
surpassing clinical trials.
That's not the first time.
The point is, it's a known
all the way to Tuskegee Airmen. We can
they were trying on their own people. Ridiculous thing. The CIA has been known to try LSD on people and to see what kind of effects it was, giving them. So
that cannot be constitutional.
Of course, and that's where I cannot stand to say, okay, just because he was
off the rails, ladies and gentlemen, we have gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Because Snowden was considered or it has been convicted as being a criminal, does that mean the stuff that he brought to light, the whole stuff that Verizon was spying on people's phones?
Hold on, stop. Everybody just freeze. Everybody just stop where you are. Okay. Collaborate and listen.
You just drop a okay.
All right, so here's the reality. The reality is, I thought we were talking about aliens.
I thought so too. And get it too.
To the extent that you were all talking about aliens.
Can we bring it back?
Yeah, collaborate and listen.
Bring it back.
Back with a brand new invention. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Snowden said he tried to look for aliens. He had ridiculous access to the NSA, CIA files, and found nothing.
I know.
Now, I'm willing to accept that there are files elsewhere, but I'm also willing to accept that there are not. So here's the reality. Either we're talking about aliens or we're not. What are we talking about?
Aliens.
All right.
I'll go back to aliens.
They don't exist. Uh-oh. The wife's calling. We're back. That's an alien right there.
Is this a commercial break?
No. Carry on, people.
Carry on. Okay.
I just want to say, is that we're having? Hello.
Yes, this segment of Aliens is brought to you by Screwball
Butter
whiskey. Drink up with some jam.
You're a PBJ, right?
Yes, I am.
No, this is peanut butter and Borders jelly. It's so good.
Jen, quick question. You believe in aliens?
No.
She's Snowden.
Trust me, I've seen the worst of it.
Because there's been too much stuff written, too many people have come out who had a lot to risk. And they came out and they said this. So what to make of all this?
And Kooky.
No. Okay, I'm just going to...
You can't think that we're so egotistical that we're the only beings in this universe.
Two different things.
Come on.
Two different things. We're talking two different things. One is an arrogance that we're the only ones out there. I don't believe that.
So you believe in...
So then you do believe.
No doubt. Oh, stop it. Do you believe? I don't believe that Snowden thinks it's aliens, okay?
No,
I
No,
think-
not Snowden, but do you believe?
you believe in the existence of aliens,
Do
or
I think that there is a little green man walking
no?
around?
It doesn't have
No,
to.
no.
It could be
Oh,
a
they look like praying
mosquito.
mantis.
Do I think that there is what we believe to be the definition of life, or what we will eventually believe to be the definition of life on an extraterrestrial planet?
Yes.
Like bacteria.
By the way, it could be bacteria. It could be a little microcosms of little cells, single.
It could be a meat, but it could be anything. Yeah, it could
It
be.
could be a life form we've never registered
It
before.
doesn't have to be humanoid or
There are
bipedal.
plenty
Yeah,
of planets in the Goldilocks system. Do I
Okay.
think that we are going to be visited by Worf? No, I don't.
How dare you? Izzy is right there.
Today's a good day to die, sir.
Look, if we had a longer episode, I will create a PowerPoint, but I would also tell you guys, site by site on this planet, I do. That's a good drink. I do believe I can prove to you every single ancient structure that has markings and elements of another
All right.
type of
Another
creature.
podcast, folks, that we are going to delve into is ancient aliens. We're going to
Continue
do that.
that.
But right now we're doing present day.
Yeah.
But by the way,
testimonies, and
almost every culture, every ancient culture says the same thing, that we are descended from people from the stars. And I don't think they're talking figuratively. I don't think they're talking spiritually. I think they literally saw people come from the sky.
PBJ, we're definitely going to engage in that conversation in another podcast where we're going to go really deep into ancient evidence of at least things that ancient people had no business creating.
But I just want to say, I will rub that on me someplace special later. I just want to say, I like the creamy instead of the nutty. That because the Pentagon corroborated these I think they're laying the seeds for the eventual reveal.
Yes, that has been a concurrent theme in many books. All right, so folks, to wrap things up, because of recent corroboration by U.S., NASA, and Air Force and military, that they confirmed they do not know what it is they captured on film. It precipitated this conversation today. Do you believe in aliens? Do you not? What evidence do you have? What have you heard? What have you seen? Do you have a testimony that you can attest to? Let us know. Drop a line. Like us. Meanwhile, drink responsibly. Stay safe. Stay home. This is Rocker from Dead Air Dudes. Around the horn, people.
Izzy from the Dead Air Dudes.
Rocker, that's you.
I just did it, so it's
Oh,
gonna be me. And then
PBJ, save the aliens.
So save the aliens. Thanks for tuning in, and
Save the wheels.
tune in next
Everybody
time.
stay safe. Join us for our next foray into aliens, and take care, everybody. Have a good night.